Hello and welcome back, everyone. Today's grammar video, we are continuing on with the progressive tenses. We just covered the past progressive tense, and today we're focusing on the future progressive tense. Now, the progressive tense, the ideas that we already discussed, they don't really change much, okay? So what is a progressive tense? The progressive tense, it shows a continuing action, all right? So what does progressive mean? What does continuous mean? Sometimes it's called the progressive tense, sometimes it's called the continuous tense, because it just means that it goes on for a period of time. We're stretching it out. So all progressive tenses shows a continuing action. The past progressive, we talked about something that was happening, but now we're talking about something that will be happening. So again, be, verb, ing. So it will be happening or going on over time. All progressive tenses use the pattern be plus verb ing. The future progressive pattern, there's two of them. Before you have the be, verb, ing, you could add will be verbing, or you could say be going to be verbing. That's weird because you have two be verbs. And we still have to think about subject-verb agreement, but with the future progressive tense, the only thing you have to change for subject-verb agreement is if you're using the more complicated pattern of the be going to be verb ing. There's two be verbs. Change the first one to subject-verb agreement, not the second one, okay? So there's two patterns. The simple one is will be verbing. Second pattern is be going to be verbing. Let's look at how we use this. So overlapping action, we kind of had an example of this, the past progressive tense, but overlapping just means two things happen. It's not one thing happened, it stopped, a second thing happened. We're talking as one thing is happening, the second one is also beginning towards kind of the end of the first one or during the first one. So how do we use this? You start off with the future progressive tense, and then you're making a complex sentence, which we already talked about. Complex sentences, you have an IC and a DC, independent clause, dependent clause. So we're adding when, our dependent clause marker, plus a present simple. So it's progressive, future progressive, plus when, plus simple present to make a complex sentence, right, using this overlapping idea. Two patterns. The first pattern is the will. So my mom will be watching and cheering or screaming when I go on the roller coaster. When is your DCM? So I go on the roller coaster. This is your independent clause, right? But this is your present simple. Your future progressive is my mom will be watching. So will plus be verbing. This be doesn't change. You just see it as the be verb. So will be watching. But as we talked about in our past progressive video, you can also have multiple verbs here. So will be watching and cheering or screaming. You don't want to say will be watching and cheer or scream. You need to keep the ing so that we have parallelism here. So it will be watching and cheering or screaming. But it's the future, so maybe they're watching and cheering, or maybe they're watching and screaming. We don't know. If your mom is really happy for you, she'll be cheering. If your mom is scared for you, she could be screaming. But we don't know because it's in the future. So again, will be verbing, verbing, verbing. You don't need to have will be watching and be cheering or be screaming. You don't need to have the be's here. That's redundant. It makes no sense. Don't do it. Next. Our second pattern, be going to be verbing. A lot of mistakes I see is they have the be verb here and they leave this out. So be going to helping. I see that a lot. And that's wrong because there's two be verbs here. Only the first be verb changes to have subject-verb agreement. Susan is, I am, they are, going to be helping her sister when she does her homework. So she does her homework is in IC. When she does her homework is your dependent clause. But Susan is going to be helping the sister, her sister, overlapping. Okay? Again, future progressive plus a simple present to kind of use this in your speaking or in your writing. Again, two patterns. First pattern, will be verbing. Second pattern, be going to, be verbing. And that's the one for subject-verb agreement. All right, if you're still confused, go back, rewatch the video. If you're ready, well, let's review. Intro to future progressive tense. What do all progressive tenses do? All progressive tenses show a continuing action. It is stretching out the idea of time. What does the future progressive tense do? It shows something that will be happening or going on over time. What pattern do all progressive tenses share? All progressive tenses include be plus verb ing. What are the two patterns to choose from when making the future progressive tense? The two patterns for the future progressive tense are will plus be verb ing or be going to plus be verb ing. What is the only word we have to change to use subject-verb agreement in the future progressive tense? If you use the pattern be going to plus be verb ing, change only the first be to match the subject noun. Example, subject noun, am is are, going to, plus be verb ing. How do we use the present progressive tense to show overlapping action? We use it with when plus present simple tense. If you use multiple verb ing in your sentence, how many be verbs do you need to use? You only need to use the be verb once at the beginning of the pattern, not before each verb ing in the sentence.